Hey guys, meteorologist Lindsay Slater here. So let's talk about what is happening for today. So as you can see, I pulled up windy.com. I just kind of like to show this because today we're kind of victim again to the cooler by the lake syndrome. Now the lake right now is sitting at about 53 degrees. We have a bit of a northeasterly wind. It was northwest this morning, moving northeast, so it's kind of still in that transition zone. But you know, if you're in Grafton, if you're in Milwaukee, Racine, Kenosha, you'll be just slightly cooler than everybody else. And you can already see that's happening now. I mean, Milwaukee downtown 62, at the airport at 66, Franklin sitting at 68 degrees, and then already in like Lake Mills, Fort Atkinson, they're getting into those upper 60s right now. And I want to pull up the 7-day from the National Weather Service because it does showcase where we are getting the information from the airport, KMKE, 66 degrees right now. What I expect today is a high of 8 degrees or so, which is 11 degrees below average for this time of the year. And I'm just grabbing my forecast. Average high is 79 and the average low is 61. We're closer to the lows than the highs. And now we're officially in astronomical summer. So we've hit the highest solar insolation that we're going to get all year. Sits at about 62 to 66 degrees for that insolation. And then we don't immediately start losing it. We still have I would say 5 or 6 days where we have very stagnant sunrise and sunsets. You're gonna notice the sunrise will get a minute later, but the sunset will stay the same. So we will lose daylight. Give it about 3 to 4 days. You'll start to see that sunrise tick down a little bit, then eventually the sunset, but there is so much summer. Just because you hit summer doesn't mean it's over. So right now you can see the only thing kind of going on across the country is not really in our neck of the woods. It's further to the south. So if you have summer plans, areas in Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, and also into Tennessee, they're getting quite a bit of rain there. Lots of flash flood warnings near Jonesboro, Memphis, also in Jackson, Tennessee. And then there's a big thunderstorm complex that's stretching from Charleston all the way up into areas in Vermont and New Hampshire. So they're dealing with some storms as well. So if you're traveling today or traveling for, I know there's lots of people that are off for summer, or maybe you just have some time off. Heads up there. As far as southeast Wisconsin goes, the next 2 days we are still cooler than average. Wednesday we kind of start to get back up closer to average. I'm going with the high of 78 Wednesday, but you can see here's the H trip, which does highlight a couple of these little pop-up cells that move in. That's because of our next system that's on the way. Plus, we have that bit of a lake breeze. I think that could pop things up, but not really around here. I think that would stay in southwestern Wisconsin, and that's kind of what the models are showing. We also have a warm front on the way, and that front is very obvious when you actually look at the H trip by about 18Z on Tuesday, so about noon on Tuesday. We're seeing some activity in Iowa, pushing through Nebraska. That's all warm front driven, and then it kind of does its own thing after you lose the daytime heating of the day. It kind of just collapses, and watch what happens to those thunderstorms. They almost they want to form almost what looks like a derecho or a big old squall line. We'll see if that actually happens, but that would be going through Kansas and also into western Missouri heading into Tuesday night. We stay out of all of that. We don't have any issues there. Our next chance of rain is really going to be on Wednesday. It does kind of start in northern Wisconsin, and then it kind of pushes its way down towards the south. But remember, the H trip only goes out 48 hours. The NAM goes out 84 hours, so I can get a little bit closer. And we just have these on and off scattered showers and thunderstorms. From what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like a washout. I know I'm going to be at an event in Heartland. There is a bike event happening there, and so I'm wondering if I did reach out to the organizers if it's rain or shine, but I know there's lots of events going on with it being summertime, so just stay tuned to that. But Wednesday would be the day that I would expect us to see some of these scattered showers and thunderstorms. As far as anything strong, we have a little bit of Cape. So a little bit of that energy pops up, likely due to that daytime heating. We have southwesterly winds, which will help to bump moisture a little bit, but the dews are only in the 60s. You can absolutely get some embedded thunderstorms in there, maybe a few hail makers here, but the shear isn't really something I'm worried about right now. I've been looking at some of the hodographs, which is that spin in the atmosphere. There's a little, but we'll keep an eye on it. I need to see how it really forms over the next couple of days. By Tuesday afternoon, I'll have a much better reading of what we think is going to be happening here. Even the Storm Prediction Center, if we click on Wisconsin, obviously there's nothing for today and tomorrow because we're good. Going into Wednesday, it literally has us in just a blob of green that talks about general thunderstorms. Not even a risk right now. Will this go up? we'll basically see. But I do want to show you something else that I think a lot of people are excited about, because I know yesterday was Father's Day and the first day of summer and one of the coolest days in June. We only hit a high of 66 degrees, so that is well below average. And I had been talking about this in my previous videos, how we do have this beautiful ridge that's starting to set up. I would say by about Sunday, I think we'll get back to those 80s, Monday for sure. And look at that ridge that just builds in. I mean, that's some nice heat. So if you've been waiting to have a pool day, I would say make those plans for next week. Now, does this come with some thunderstorms or rain chances? It can. Typically, when you get under ridges, it's not as likely. What storms will do is that they'll kind of go up and around ridges. We call those ridge riders. So it almost looks like we're in another Omega block pattern, which would be very hot, which is also concerning. So we'll see how that moves through time. But that's what I got for your forecast. I've got upper 60s today, low 70s tomorrow, the chance of rain going into Wednesday, and then mid 70s as we kick off the second weekend of Summerfest. Of course, the Storm Chaser is going to be out there. We're all going to be out there, the whole team, so feel free to come by and say hi. You can't miss the Storm Chaser because it is huge. And then by Sunday, 80 degrees, 85 going into Monday. So some warmer summer weather will eventually be on the way. That's all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys tomorrow.